Orgy, porgy, Ford and fun. Kiss the girls and make them one. Girls at one, boys at peace. Orgy, porgy gives release.
Thank you for being a sport. Like protective cups with nut support. Like Turok 1, you're a late 90s thing I want.
1997 Subaru Outback Sport. The 97 Imprezas were small station wagons that weren't ashamed to call themselves wagons. In 1997, if you knew how to put Tetris on a TI-85 graphing calculator, you were the king of Algebra 2. In America, Subaru produced this little all-wheel drive gem and wrapped it in the most insipid Ozploitation since the Road Warrior. They got Paul Hogan and his long sand-ravaged face to drive around in this Japanese station wagon while cranking out the twangiest shrimp on the Barbie dingo boomerang Aussie drawl and yanks. Oh, we sucked it down like Fosters. So to break that stereotype, I filmed this Subaru in Pennsylvania's own Outback, Centralia, in winter. It is 2015. This Subaru is from 1997, and within 2 presidential terms, this car will be considered a classic by the American Hot Rod Association and the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. The late 90s Imprezas are golden, not because of their engineering. We'll get to the crashy all-wheel drive box soon enough, but because this car was born during the late 90s roar, the dot-com boom. This car was riding on the shoulders of such powerhouses as Final Fantasy VII, Mario Kart 64, Turok Dinosaur Hunter. These were all video games that came out in 97. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Tekken 3, Star Fox 64, 007 GoldenEye, Parappa the Rapper, X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter, Grand Theft Auto 1, Riven, all 5 discs of it, and the international release of House of the Dead arcade game. Drive a late 90s Subaru and you can relive nostalgia for the recent past. You can drive this car and pretend you are going back to Electronics Boutique before they close because you just found out about the second castle and you have to buy back your Black Label Symphony of the Night. This is the official car of ham boat fundraisers and band bus boob feels and Surge and band bus boob feels while drinking Surge. Drive a 97 Subaru and you can be right back there seeing flurries coming down outside the window during first period social studies. You squirmed in your seat hoping to hear the PA system crackle with liberating words.
Please excuse the interruption due to inclement weather.
That's the 97 Impreza. Liberation. Liberation, self-mobility, even in the face of weather. The natural force which stops establishment and stops authority will not stop you in this. Because the first generation Impreza, or Outback Sport, picked up where the E30 left off. See, the E30 is a fun car that can fulfill normal car duties that the Miata cannot. And the Outback Sport does what the E30 can do and haul stuff, and haul itself out of snow from a dead stop. Watch. So I'm gonna like manhandle this thing around and there's the kicking. So it sort of goes a little bit.
Yeah.
So if there's the clunk. Wow, this is fun. So if I'm just in the middle of the snow and I just put my foot down and it just felt that. Oh, that's
it just pushes you out. It's great.
I want more snow to do that again.
I know.
The Subaru has the Hee-Haw 2.2 EJ22 flat 4 single overhead cam making 137 horsepower. And that power gets to the wheels by a 4-speed auto. But here's why the late 90s Imprezas mattered. This was when car makers could make all-wheel drive station wagons and could afford to make them small. See, in 2007, the Energy Independence and Security Act included a dick punch to CAFE standards. When I say CAFE, I mean corporate average fuel economy. It wasn't enough anymore that a car company had a certain percentage of their fleet devoted to fuel economy. So anyway, the rule in the early 2000s is if you have a small car, it has to get good fuel economy. If you have a medium-sized car, it can get medium-sized fuel economy. Large car, who cares? That was no problem for small cars like the Civic or the Ford Escort because they already got great fuel economy. But what about small cars that had to do other things that mitigated their fuel economy? That's what's up with the Outback Sport. I mean, this Impreza engine is fine, but you have an all-wheel drive system that eats up the fuel economy. And because a flat 4 engine isn't the most thrifty way to make power, it's not the optimum fuel-saving design to begin with. So the Outback Sport only got 20, 22 you would average. That's your average fuel economy for a 2.2 liter 4. It should be getting high 30s. No, these things, you got over 20, you're doing good. Now that didn't matter in the 90s because the CAFE rules really didn't matter. It was a broad spectrum. But now it's down to individual cars. And that's why small all-wheel drive wagons like these don't exist, because they can't exist. No one can afford to make them anymore, and there's rules against making them. I mean, the Outbacks now are huge, and the Foresters are practically Ford Explorers these days. I mean, Subaru Outbacks these days are classified as light trucks, so they can get around the CAFE standards. Chrysler saw the writing on the wall when they made the PT Cruiser. All the PT Cruiser was a Dodge Neon, but they classified it as a truck, so it could get away with having crappy mileage. So that's why you should go out there and try to find these late 90s Imprezas. They were forgettable in the 90s because all the trends were moving toward SUVs and the Jeep TJ as well. But now the late 90s Subarus shine so bright because they're small cars that can't exist today because of CAFE rules. Every time I drive one of these late 90s Subarus, I want one. Oh, I want one bad. You know what this car's like? It's like the Pinkerton album. Yeah, late 90s Imprezas. Weezer's Pinkerton album. Unappreciated when it was out, but looking back into the recent past, oh, this was a really good design. A little weird on the mileage, but it shines everywhere else. You can't stop it. It's always hard to beat the first time. Just like your first boob feel.
It's a rare condition in this day and age to go to Centralia on a wintry day. Late 90s Subies are a rare design. Something like this is even harder to find. Pepperoni nips on my first boob grab, and she's now my summit girl. Castlevania Symphony of the Night was my whole entire world. I like your car more than I can say. Let's do a barrel roll in this big ass pile of